Actually, a business owner is someone that just tries to work on an existing idea to create a market for himself. And an entrepreneur, on the contrary, is someone who creates an idea, comes up with something new, and creates a market space for himself. Due to the challenges being faced by entrepreneurs in Nigeria, Rome Business School has designed a Master's in Entrepreneurship and Innovation program to tackle some of these challenges, to help people who have ideas, help them conceptualize these ideas, nurture them, and bring them to become global leaders in their different industries. And that's why we have this Master's in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, like I said. So we'll be taking you through the entire Master's program, what you get to learn in the course of the 1 year, and the value proposition from the career service. It's quite interesting, it's quite juicy. We have a lot for you. So without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Onyeka Akumah. I'm not sure if he's here with us, but before that, I would like to introduce our career service. We have some from the career service and alumni relation. Or do see if you're here, can you say hi? Are you here with us?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much, Adusi. And we have also, we have Mr. Sam Igwe, Organizational and Learning Director. Is he here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Tommy. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. Good morning once again. So I don't know if Mr. Onyeka Akumah is here. Okay, so without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be so honored, so privileged to introduce a very special person. He's a pioneer in his space. His name is Mr. Onyeka Akumah. Mr. Onyeka Akumah is a serial entrepreneur and the founder, CEO of Farmcrowdy, Nigeria's first agricultural digital platform with a network of over 300,000 farmers connecting with finance, market access, and technical expertise all over Nigeria, across all the 36 states, including FCT. Mr. Onyeka is also the co-founder of Plentywaka, Nigeria's premier bus hauling app focused on transforming the public transportation space with technology and over 200,000 successful riders in its first 12 months of operation. Wow. Prior to Farmcrowdy and Plentywaka, Mr. Onyeka also held several top management positions in high-profile startups like Jumia, Waka Now, and Konga. He has also worked for top firms like Deloitte, the British Council, Guarantee Trust Bank, where he led the marketing efforts online. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Onyeka was appointed to the e-Agric Stakeholders Forum by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Nigeria, and was also made one of the youngest members of the Honorary Council of Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He has been featured as one of the top 50 disruptors of 2020 by the Africa Report and listed as one of the 2020 top 50 innovators to watch across the globe by the Globe stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Onyeka also won the Entrepreneur of the Year Award by Gage Awards. He has been listed as one of the top 10 CEOs under 40, and he was recently ranked the 26th most influential young person in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Onyeka currently sits on the board of leading tech startup in the United States of America and Nigeria, with a keen interest on the agriculture, real estate, and transportation sectors. And I'll present to you the CEO, co-founder of Farmcrowdy, Mr. Onyeka Akumah. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Also one of the faculty members for the Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation program. We're so happy to have you here, Mr. Onyeka. I'm personally honored to have you here. You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks
Yes.
for having me.
Yes, Mr. Onyeka will be talking about the future of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. So Mr. Onyeka, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Tomilola, for the introduction. And I'm excited to be here. I appreciate everyone that has joined this call. And I also thank the Rome Business School for having me for these 60 minutes to talk about something I'm very passionate about as it concerns entrepreneurship. I in the last 2 weeks, I think I made mention on my social media handles how excited I was about the opportunity to also share my knowledge with students at the Rome Business School. I think it's something I find really honorable. I'm so excited about it. I've had a couple of classes already, and it's been exciting to talk with students, to talk with people um, about how I see entrepreneurship, how I see marketing, how I see innovation, especially bringing it from the Nigerian context of doing business. Um, so I think I know I have roughly about 60 minutes. So I will be going through um, my ideas around the topic, but just in my typical style, I like to talk through stuff with examples. And so I will be talking about myself, about my journey, and I'll be using the examples of them to encourage people, whether as entrepreneurs or as innovators, around the examples that I have to see how they can use those lessons and understand where entrepreneurship in Nigeria is going and its future over time. And then see the opportunities that are available to people. I've also talked through my journey with the startups. So, I mean, the profile you read, Tomilola, was something that I hardly look at. And when I listen to that again over and over, I get to see, I mean, I'm humbled by the fact that we've been able to personally go through that journey in my life. And it's exciting to see that and then also see what we can do in the future. So I'm going to start on this note first. Usually people ask, who is an entrepreneur? I think usually I always start my conversation, once I'm talking about entrepreneurship, I'm talking about innovation. The first thing I always say to people is, who is an entrepreneur? And so many definitions have come up. People have had all sorts of definitions of what an entrepreneur is. Recently, even we've had definitions of who we call intrapreneurs. Um, but basically, I have put my own definition. I mean, this is something that we've seen maybe in dictionaries around the world. Well, an entrepreneur, in my own definition, would be a person that is able to organize and manage an enterprise. That enterprise can be a business with usually with considerable initiative and risk. An entrepreneur will be one that is able to take that risk and have the initiative to start up something, to manage an enterprise into something that is valuable, not just for themselves, for people around them. Now, on that basis, one then starts considering what exactly makes entrepreneurship really exciting for people. Why am I personally excited about entrepreneurship? Um, I usually define my excitement based on four main things. One is that I'm able to invest my time, my resources, my capital into an idea, that I'm able to build that idea into something that is valuable, and then I'm able to have impact on people's lives as a result of that idea, and then I'm able to repeat the cycle over and over again. Now, having said that, it sounds very theoretical, so I will just uh, go through my slides and tell you, why does that look exciting for me as an individual, right? Why will I take that kind of journey and then take the risk and then say, hey, I want to take this part and then do stuff around entrepreneurship? So I'm going to share my screen just shortly. Um, 1 second. Okay, I see someone raising his hand. I guess, I don't know if If you have questions, while I'm going through the time, I'm running through my slides or giving my own talk, I'll be very excited to answer questions from people around any topic based on what we're talking about today. But if I just, so I'll just quickly, so while raising your hand, you can just type your questions in the chat area and I'll address it because I see a couple of people already raising their hands. I'll address it when we're done, when I'm done speaking, and I'll take all the questions one by one. Thank you. So, I'm going to share my slide now. Okay. Now, for me, as an individual, there are constantly things that get me pumped on a daily basis, especially from the Nigerian context. Whenever I'm told that we have, so the figures stagger all over the place. So people say we have 200 million people in Nigeria. So people say we have 250. I'm going to base this on what was the last figure we knew and we knew was certain. And that was around 186 million people. So the more, even the better. Every time I hear about the fact that we have 186 million people in the country, I consistently think about how these people will have access to some of the things that are basic in Western world. So in Europe or in the US, you find some of these things are already in place. But in Africa, specifically in Nigeria, not all of these things are in place. And it includes food. So 186 million people will eat at least one time in a day. They will need shelter. Every human being on earth, including Nigerians, no matter how hard we say we are, we need where to sleep. We will need education. We will need security. Security is now a major topic across the country. It's a major opportunity. So people call it problems. I call them opportunities. We will need transportation. People will always want to move from point A to B, and Nigerians travel a lot. In fact, I think Nigerians move more than any other African country. More than any other African country, Nigerians tend to move a lot. They like to travel, they like to explore. People are always moving. We will need financial solutions. We will need governance. We will need information. We will need health. I mean, we cannot overemphasize the health factor in light of what we've had to go through or what we're still experiencing around the world today. And we will need communication. Now, you see, in all of these 10 different needs that I've highlighted, basically, I've picked these ones to just highlight. There are many other needs that may stem out of this. What an entrepreneur should be seeing is the opportunity in these 10 different needs that over 186 million people, ideally 186 million people that you can call your market, if you identify how to categorically focus on one of the needs for them and provide it for them on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, or on an annual basis, and then create value. I get excited about real problems, and that is where we see ourselves in Africa or in Nigeria, because where we have an opportunity to solve real problems for people and create value. So for me as an individual, when I looked at this was at the time I was working with, I'll talk through my story, but there was a time I had to look at these 10 different sectors and ask myself, where will I be excited about playing in? Having looked at my skill set as an individual, which I'll speak to, what exactly will I want to play in that I feel I will have impact on people's lives? And so I picked the first two and the fifth one: food, shelter, transportation. Food, because people will eat daily; shelter, because people will sleep daily; and transportation, because I know people will move around daily. But as an entrepreneur, I then said, okay, How then will I be able to see the opportunities based on my primary focus? And this applies to every one of us. Entrepreneurs usually look at opportunities based on these factors. First, self-actualization. 2, self-esteem. 3, belonging. 4, safety. And 5, the physiological aspect of looking at opportunities. These 5 different things are the things that influences the minds of entrepreneurs to identify where their opportunities are going to come from. And so for even those of us that are going through this session we're having today, you would see how these things drove me as an individual to find the opportunities that I've seen today and then influence which of these 10 different needs I want to focus on. Now, to get into a place where you understand clearly what your self-actualization will be, the self-esteem has become as a result of achievement, mastery, recognition, your sense of belonging as a result of your friends, family, and the community maybe you grew up in, as a sense of safety tied around security and shelter. If you pick any entrepreneur that we celebrate in life today, they are fashioned out as entrepreneurs based on the things that have influenced them tied to these 5 different things. And so a man that has grown up in a place where security has been a major concern, and maybe he grew up in a place where there was a lot of conflict, and he tended to find a way to try to escape from that conflict. If this man is going to be sitting down to think around ideas, around the opportunities he has seen in these 10 different segments that were mentioned earlier on, he will tend to pick elements based on the ones that have affected him growing up or the ones that have affected him where he is today. And the opportunities he will see will be tied to these things, tied around these different topics here. And so every one of us have different things that influence us. Our unconscious mind, our life values, our core beliefs, the questions we ask, the references we keep, and then our emotional states we experience each moment. These things influence what entrepreneurs eventually dive into and say they want to run with. We cannot become entrepreneurs far from what these things will influence us on a daily basis. And so, if you want to think about an idea, or if you are excited about an idea that a previous entrepreneur has focused on, for you to get to a place where you can replicate the success of that entrepreneur, so you pick any one of them, and you say you want to replicate the same, one has to find himself in a place where these things that are mentioned here, as it affected that entrepreneur, ideally, it should also affect you as an individual in ways that you will now think of ideas and innovations and businesses and enterprises that you're going to be focused on. This is how successful entrepreneurs dig deep into themselves to identify the opportunities that they want to run with. But in identifying the opportunities you want to run with and saying that you, as an entrepreneur, this is what I'm going to focus on, one will want to look at also, because I may be influenced by the fact that I am moving from Lagos in Nigeria to Abuja in Nigeria on a daily basis, and I identify an opportunity while commuting every day that I want to focus on. But in order to make sure that I'm able to actually chase that opportunity and get the results I want to get out of that opportunity as an entrepreneur, I will need to look at my capacity as an individual. Now, the capacity as an individual or your capital as an entrepreneur to chase ideas and execute on them depend on not just money. Because most of the time, entrepreneurs say, hey, I have this idea, I want to execute it, but I'm looking for seed funding. Many of the times, seed funding is not just money. Seed funding can come as capital that is tied to these different things that I've mentioned here. All 10 of these are what you will refer to as capital, or the capacity that you have to execute on the ideas you have beyond money being just one of them. You need capital of integrity. It is very quick for me to mention that as entrepreneurs, if you're really going to command and lead a group of people that you want to execute on an idea, you need to have a good capital of integrity to say a thing that you want to chase, and everyone believes that what you've said is what you will do. It starts from there. Also, as entrepreneurs, I tell everyone the best CEOs in the world we celebrate are masters of the art of convincing you around the ideas they're selling. They have the charisma, in the capital and charisma to convince you about why their idea is the best idea you will hear in the world and why you should buy into what they're selling. You also need to have the capacity to command capital from the human element around source that can influence your decision making as an entrepreneur. You need to have the capital of people. The capital of people, for me as Onyeka, is one of the biggest assets that I've come to see has helped me in my day-to-day engagement with people, or in my execution of my business ideas. Your peers. Who are your friends? Who will you be able to call on if you have an idea to execute on that can give you the resources you need to execute on the idea, complementing your own skill set to achieve the results you want? Who are your proteges? Who are those people you've influenced over time that you can call on to say, hey, I'm a master of marketing, you're a master of technology, you're a master of finance. Can we work together, either as peers, because we're friends, or people that are proteges that you've trained, that you've mentored, they've told them how to do things, certain things, and now you can depend on them to work with. What associations do you belong to? Intellectually, you want to look at what certificates have you had, what results, what results have you had in school. That is why for those that are going through the entrepreneurship and innovation class in the Rome Business School, I give kudos to you for what you're doing. For those that are going through the master in marketing and sales, I give kudos to you, because those things will count eventually. What books do you read? I read a lot of books. I read a book in every situation I find myself as an entrepreneur. Whether I'm making decisions around recruitment, or I'm making decisions around how I restructure my business, or I'm making decisions around investment, at every stage of my business, I'm consistently reading a book to learn how people have done it before and failed, and how people have done it before and succeeded. How much of resourcefulness do you have within you? The capacity you have within you as an entrepreneur, all of these things count beyond money, which many of us tend to focus on as the major capital we want to chase as entrepreneurs. And so, at this point, having talked through the resources an entrepreneur will look at, the opportunities one tends to focus on, maybe I'll tell you a bit about myself and my story. I'll tell you how one has been able to get to a place where we currently have maybe 3 to 4 different businesses that are thriving on a daily basis, that are getting results, that are focused on the different segments that I mentioned earlier on, segments around food, shelter, transportation, and even finance now. And in my story, what you will find is I didn't just land in becoming a CEO of a company. My journey started when I was maybe 12, when my mom made me raise 200 birds and then sell them in order to get money to buy the things I wanted to buy. But let's skip all of that at my younger age into what happened while I was in school. I had to, at some point, start building websites for people to make money that I would use to pay for my fees at certain stages of my career in school. Coming out of school, I worked with a couple of corporates. So I didn't just start off becoming an entrepreneur from the first day. However, I already had it within me that, hey, I was going to be an entrepreneur. I was going to want to build businesses. I was excited about building businesses, creating jobs for people, but I wanted to learn first. And in my learning, I first worked with a couple of organizations. Some of them I've highlighted here. I worked in British Council where I led their web presence in the country, in Nigeria. I later worked in Deloitte where I led their online marketing presence across 6 countries in Africa. And then from Deloitte, I had my first foray into the startup space. And so I joined Wakana maybe as staff number 17. Wakana is the Expedia. For those that are not in Nigeria, maybe the Expedia, for Africa. I did online marketing there, and then found an opportunity to then work with the team in Rocket Internet to establish 2 different businesses in Nigeria. So I did 2 years in Wakana. I was excited about Wakana, but let me say this. I got a mentor just between my time in Deloitte and my time in Wakana. I got a mentor who I was saying to that I wanted to see what I should chase, what I wanted to become in the next 10 years. And I told him that, so he analyzed my skill set, he analyzed my person and said, you can either become a chief marketing officer of a company or a chief technology officer of a company, because I had a background in software engineering. But I enjoyed the marketing side of business, selling what we had built as against building the tech myself. So I focused on, hey, I wanted to become a chief marketing officer. And I gave myself a target at that time. And I was around 24, 25. And I said I wanted to become a chief marketing officer within the next 5 to 6 years, by the time I was 30. And in doing that, I identified the fact that there were several other chief marketing officers that had gone ahead of me. And so I started researching them on LinkedIn. In 2008, 2009, I started researching all the chief marketing officers in Nigeria that I could identify on LinkedIn. I found chief marketing officers in MTN. I found chief marketing officers in Airtel. Then I found chief marketing officers in British American Tobacco. And I started looking at what they did in their careers to land where they were. What were the lessons they took by themselves? What were the risks they took? How did they change in their career? How did they evolve in their careers? And so that led me to a place where I said, okay, I needed to learn 3 things. I needed to learn online marketing. I needed to learn offline marketing. I needed to learn PR management, press management. And so the first opportunity came with Wakana to learn online marketing. And so I did my best. I learned there. I built myself over the 2 years that I was there on online marketing. And I think I became very good at it. And I wanted to explore the offline marketing side of business. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to do it in Wakana, but I got the opportunity to do it in Jumia. Even if moving from Wakana to Jumia meant that I had to take a pay cut, over 40% in my salary pay cut to join Jumia. But this time it wasn't Jumia then, it was called Sabunta and Kasua, which was very early days. And so I came into Sabunta as the first Nigerian on ground to help recruit people in that team. And eventually we merged both businesses to make it into what we call Jumia. But the opportunity I had was around offline marketing there, and I was able to cut my teeth in offline marketing while I was in Jumia. Then came the opportunity to now merge both offline marketing skills, online marketing skills, and the opportunity to handle PR that I had learned also in Jumia in another company called Konga. And so that led me into that other business, and then I joined the team at Konga. Now in Konga, while going through my time there, I felt that, hey, I think I had learned everything I needed to know about building a business, and I wanted to build my own business. And so I said I was going to launch my first business. And I was going to launch my first business in something I was passionate about. Not necessarily something I said I had just the skills for, but I just loved doing. I focused on my first business, and it was a news aggregator. That news aggregator was called Quick Gist. Now, Quick Gist was the first news aggregator. So it's like what you refer to as Google News in Nigeria, or I mean around the world. But this was 2013. I raised some investment at that time and said I wanted to build the biggest news aggregator at that time. QuickGist rose to over 250,000 users that had downloaded the app within 6 weeks of launching it. I felt like, hey, we were on steroids. We were doing fantastic. We're doing a brilliant job on the team. And then I raised some funding, roughly about $50,000 then. And first mistake I made was I decided to change the model, which is mistakes that many entrepreneurs make. You raise money and then you want to change your model. So I changed the model from aggregating news content to now creating our own news content. That led me to a place where I found out that in creating your own content, I wouldn't be able to sustain it over time. We started struggling with revenues coming in from QuickGist. We started struggling with maintaining things. I found myself in a place where I literally was getting my staff to start working from my house. There was no office any longer. We got to a place where I couldn't pay salaries again. And then very quickly, I had to look for an opportunity to exit QuickGist because it was crumbling all over the place and we couldn't raise funding. And so I sold QuickGist to another newspaper house in the country. As much as I sold it, you can refer, other people will refer to it as a success, but it wasn't selling it that was the goal when we started QuickGist. Unfortunately, that was what happened. We sold the company and then I had to go back to the drawing board to see what my mistakes were as an entrepreneur. I went back into the startup space again and was requested to help launch another startup in the country called Travel Better. I launched Travel Better and we started working on it in 2014 after my time in QuickGist, took a break from QuickGist and then launched it in 2015. But I wasn't a founder. I was basically an employee that was brought in as the chief commercial officer to launch the business in the country. We ended up opening up several offices, about 6 offices across the country, raised some money in funding, about $2 million at that time, and then grew the business and started generating some revenues from it. But this time around, I made sure that my lessons from QuickGist was not going to be repeated in my time in Travel Better. While in Travel Better, I then thought about, hey, the 3 sectors that I was focused on earlier on in my career, maybe it's about time I focus on them again. Because in Travel Better, I just told the team that, hey, I was going to resign my role as chief commercial officer to now go back into doing something that I was ready to launch on and drive on because I felt it was the right time. And so in 2016, I then left Travel Better roughly in September 2016 to then launch Farmcrowdy, which is now maybe one of the biggest ag tech platforms in Africa, maybe the biggest in the country based on its reputation. But it wasn't always in Farmcrowdy. Our first period, it took us 6 weeks to raise $22,000 to work with the first farmer. When we raised the first, this was our first farmer. And when we raised monies for her to work on our farm, we lost over 300 birds in the first cycle. We couldn't even tell her. We tried to move things from point A to B, move the birds from Ibadan, where we set up the farm, to Lagos, and there were issues we had to face. That was my co-founder, one of my co-founders, Ifeanyi, that is still with me today on the business. We did our best to try to learn from that, and this is where entrepreneurship and innovation comes into play. As much as we learn a lot, we learn from school and we learn in the classes. When it's time to build your business, you will learn more from the field than you will learn from the classes. Because at that point in time, you will see the reality of running a business. In marketing to people, I thought I had all the best techniques in marketing, but it took me 6 weeks to generate $2,000 in order to work with this farmer. We raised some birds. She raised those birds actively. We told her to get them to 4 kg birds so we can sell them and make good profit from them. She did her best. We lost maybe only 20 birds with her within that period. But when we were moving the birds from Ibadan to Lagos, the truck broke down and we lost 300 birds as a result of heat. Now imagine that if we had raised even more money and maybe we had over 500,000 beds at that time, and we lost 300,000 beds, business would have shut down that day. But we kept on pushing on. We kept on learning from the small time of working and improving on the model and growing and growing and growing. We had 8 people in our team. Somebody came to our office one day and referred to our office as a boys' quarter. He said it was a car park, literally. The day that man said it to us, we were, the people in my team, I had to motivate them to, hey, see, we know what we're doing. We will move from where we are to better places. It took us some time, but yes, we still continued on our journey. The team grew within 8 months to a team of 20. We were able to get to a place where we're generating about $20,000 on our platform within 24 hours, as against generating $2,000 in 6 weeks. We're able to get to a point where we are now raising 50,000 chickens. Our mortality rate dropped to about 8%. 8% on 50,000 chicks means that our mortality rate starts around 4,000 beds maximum. We moved to a new office and won our first award. We kept on driving and pushing and pushing. 24 months later, team grew to over 40 people. We're in a place where we could generate up to $100,000 in 2 hours. We got over 400 media mentions. The vice president of Nigeria visited our office at one time, and it just became an endorsement of the work we had put in place, learning from that first project and staying on and growing and growing. We have won several awards. We have grown as a team. The team now cut across board is over 100 people in the team, in the organization. We spent the last 4 years growing our network to, I know in the introduction, we talked about 300,000 farmers in our network, but right now we have over 400,000 farmers across the country. We've raised over $15 million on our platform when we were still crowdfunding, but that has evolved from that into other forms of business. We've gotten to a point where there's so much awards we've gotten. The United Nations have awarded us several awards. The Nigerian Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange. We even got an award from the President of Nigeria, the National Order of Merit, for the kind of impact we're having in people's lives. Revenue-wise, we were growing in leaps and bounds. Our revenue got to $3 million a year as of last year. And so we've gone into a place where we've grown as a business in Farmcrowdy. And it's not just in Farmcrowdy. There's several other businesses that I've had to burn over time. But this time around, before I even go into these businesses that have gone, and I'm going to speak to one other business as I wrap up, and to tell you how that idea came. So I didn't talk about how the Farmcrowdy idea came, but I'm going to talk about how the Plentywaka idea came, so that we can bring it home and end things on that note. But what people don't see are these things when it comes to entrepreneurship. As an entrepreneur, we have to be ready to understand that you would have mistakes you will make. You would have sleepless nights, irrespective of what you've learned in school or what you've learned working for someone else. When you start your business, you have to be brave enough to understand that you will deal with mistakes, sleepless nights, long meeting hours, negotiations, office politics, something I ran away from while I was still in the likes of Wakana and Jumia. If you brought office politics around me, I would literally shut you down. But I've come to learn that as a CEO of a company, if I'm going to have to be able to manage people of different clients, over 100 people across my firms, and I have to deal with stakeholders, and I have to deal with boardroom meetings, I have to learn the art of managing my office politics to make sure I manage people from place to place. You have to deal with losses. You have to deal with strained relationships will come. Your friends will say you're no longer having enough time for them the way you used to in the past. You have to deal with compulsory innovation or you will die as a business. You have to deal with long hours of praying. Whatever religion you serve, whatever beliefs you have, you would have to be giving yourself to that. You have to deal with moments of exhaustion. And that's why it's important also as an entrepreneur to exercise, to find time to let steam go, to find time to be able to. So I'm consistently finding time to play soccer, to play football. I find times to play FIFA. I mean, a PlayStation game, and I'm giving banters all over the place. I play table tennis. all of that just to get me to regulate my system so that I reduce exhaustion, I reduce stress from the thinking, from the implementation, from the disappointments that you get more than the successes that people celebrate. You have to deal with moments of loneliness, especially if you don't have co-founders. And it's one of the reasons why, as entrepreneurs, you've got to find ways to have co-founders in your businesses. And so all of these things on the left-hand side are the things people celebrate at the top, what people see, the success in celebration. What they don't see are these sacrifices you have to make. You know, and then in wrapping up, I'm going to talk about how the Plentywaka idea was born. Now, everybody is always commuting from Plentywaka, and in speaking to this idea of how the Plentywaka idea was born, I'm speaking to it from a place where, as entrepreneurs that are on the call, or people that want to go into entrepreneurship, you will kind of find ways you will put your eyes down to ideas, to innovation, so while you're studying through the Rome Business School of Nigeria's program on entrepreneurship and innovation, or while you're studying marketing, sales, or any other course, and you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to build a business, you want to scale a business, you want to have impact, you've got to pay attention to what I'm going to be talking about on how we gave birth to the Plentywaka idea, to see how you too can also give birth to your own idea, scale it, and turn it into something valuable. So January 26th, 2019, I was flying back to Nigeria from a conference in Qatar. My flight landed by 8 a.m., around 10 minutes past 8. And I had to get to I had to get to a meeting with flour mills in Apapa. And that meeting was very important for Farmcrowdy because we were trying to get into a partnership with flour mills. And so we're meeting both the chairman of flour mills, we're meeting the board, we're meeting the management team. And so it was a very important meeting, and the meeting was 10 o'clock. If you know Lagos, and at this time, Okada was still allowed in Lagos. So if you know Lagos, if you have to move around really fast, there are times where you have to park your car and take a bike. And so I landed by 10 minutes past 8. I knew that there was no way I was going to drive or get my driver to drive me from the airport to Apapa to get to that meeting by 10 o'clock. So I told them to take my bags to the office in Lekki. And then I got on a bike. I got on the first bike that flew me from the airport to a particular junction, and I had to get on the second bike that took me from there to the office in Apapa, to the flour mills office in Apapa. And so I got into the meeting 5 minutes past 10. My other co-founders in Farmcrowdy had already gotten there. For them to make that meeting, they had to get to CMS and take a boat over the lagoon to get to Apapa and then get into the meeting. When I got into the meeting, so I took pictures of me while I was on the bike, and I said, hey, today I've flown into the country on Qatar. I've taken an Okada, 2 bikes to get to this meeting. So I just took pictures while I was on the bike. When we were done with the meeting, we said, my co-founder said to me that, let us take the boat back to CMS. I mean, for me, it made sense. Why would I want to stay in the traffic from Apapa back to CMS when I can take a boat ride? But at that point in time, I said, so today I have flown, I have used the bike, I'm going to use a boat. And it tells the life of an entrepreneur in Lagos, how we have to deal with the issues around moving around to get to meet our meetings or make appointments. Eventually, we did the boat ride over the lagoon and got to CMS. When we got to CMS, I was like, okay, so let's get Uber and let's get to the office. And they were like, no, let's take a bus. I was like, take a bus. At that point, I was like, I'm not taking a bus. So if you're not in Lagos, you understand that if you get to the CMS area, there are 2 types of buses. So you have the normal BRT buses, the big 56-seater buses. They're a lot more neater. But you have also those buses that are 20 years old, that are rickety, the white and green ones, that if you sit inside them, God help you, you don't want to have a cot because you're going to look for anti-tetanus to treat yourself. And so I said to myself, I told them, I said, see, I've not entered a downfall bus in many years, not because I have anything against it, but the fact that rather than sitting in the downfall bus, I will take a bike for the same trip. If I'm not able to afford Uber, I will take a bike. Or I will find a way of going about my job without entering a bus. They're like, okay, so today let's get into that bus. And so we say, okay, let's pay for all this and let's take the bus to the office. I sat in front of that bus and I held the door because the door of the bus was about to fall off. So I held the door and my co-founders were at the back. They were laughing at me. They were teasing me, but I was tensed. I was tensed because I said, hey, so is this how I was tensed because I was able to now see the driver, the way he was driving, he was abusing people, there was heat. I was seeing all the metals that were sticking out in the bus, the state of the chairs. I was like thinking of all the crazy things that could happen while sitting in the bus. On top of that, I was saying to myself, is this how people commute on a daily basis to their offices in Lagos? Where if they don't have the money to get on Uber on a daily basis, and they don't have the means of taking a bike, they only have this option where they will put on a white shirt and a red tie, and they're going to the office looking all clean and proper, and they have to sit in this kind of condition for 2-3 hours going in the morning and 2-3 hours coming back in the evening because they have no alternative. When we got to the office, I immediately called a friend of mine, which speaks to your network. A friend of mine that had approached me in the past and said he wanted me to invest in his business that was focused on getting people to own tricycles in Lagos. And I said to him, I think I have an idea now. One that I think I'm ready to invest in, and one that I want you and I to work on. His name is Johnny. Johnny came to my house the next morning, and I told him, what if we're able to build a system where, number one, the problems people face when they go to the bus stop is that if they don't have the muscle and the strength to fight every other person to get on a bus and get that seat on a bus, then they'll be left out of getting transportation from where they want to go to where from their point of pickup. What if we're able to get a system in place where, one, we put the kind of buses on the road that if people get on them, they feel like they have this corporate feel, they have the security, they have the sanity, and they have the luxury of a very comfortable brand new bus that is taking them from point A to point B, one, and two, they can predict when the bus will get to its bus stop and can protect their seats. So they're able to book their seats in that bus and know that when they get to that bus stop, they can sit in that bus and move from point A to B. We sat down for about 3 hours looking through the idea, and then we started working on it. One of the things I get excited about is coming up with the name of my startups very early on. Within 3 days to 4 days, Johnny and I were able to think through the name of the company, and we came up with the name Plentywaka, Waka being for movement. And so Plenty Movement. That was how we had the idea of Plentywaka. It didn't stop there. We gave it a name. We immediately assembled 2 other people who joined us as co-founder, Afolabi and John. And they joined us, bringing different skill sets in order to bring that idea into life. From January 26th until September 11th, or September 16th, we worked through the idea and launched the first Plentywaka app. It took us a period to get people to understand how to use the app, but over time, it started growing, we started getting referrals, and we found ourselves in a place where in our 6th month, we had moved over 100,000 people using the Plentywaka app, something that nobody else had done in the country at that time with everyday commutes. Something that when we said we're going to start, people said all the downfalls in Lagos were going to shut us down. They said all the towns, all the agri-bureaus in Lagos were going to shut us down. They said all that in itself is a story of entrepreneurship that you won't learn just in school, but just takes dexterity, it takes patience, it takes persistence, and it takes an idea coming into your head and finding the right people in your team to bring into life and then running on it. Today we are moving close to over 300,000 people, and it continues to grow. But as I conclude right now, just speaking around the Plentywaka, I know I see I have a couple of questions. This is my own personal note to every entrepreneur and innovator that is looking to start their own business. 6 things. 1, read good books. Always read and seek knowledge, whether it's in the news or TV series or events that happen around you or the books you have around you. Read good books. Build a team around you, useful networking. If you're going to start a business and you cannot identify 1 or 2 co-founders that can give you complementary skills to start up that business, then maybe you need to change your network of friends. Always observe for opportunities. Keep your eyes open. Don't close your ears to the problems you hear around. Don't always discuss the events and the problems around you, but find ways to identify an opportunity to create value for the people around you based on the problems you're consistently hearing from them. Know when to stop, pivot, or scale your business. This is important as entrepreneurs. Find ways to stop if things are not working. Find ways to pivot, to see how you change to new things, and find ways to scale as soon as you find a model that is working. Every entrepreneur is his chief sales officer. You cannot leave the selling of your business idea to anyone else. Look for the opportunities around you to sell your business. You want to ask a question, you can pitch your business idea even before you ask the question. Always sell your business idea. People say, hey, I have an idea. I'm scared that 1 or 2 people will copy them if I share them. If your idea is very simple to copy, then that is not worth investing your time in. Because the real ideas that you're going to thrive on and make into an enterprise that people will be excited about are those ones that have the complexity and complication around them that not everyone can easily copy them and implement them. And if a person even copies your idea, the person that is leading, that is always in the front, is the one that is innovative and the one that finds a way of scaling their business fast enough to get the results they need to get. Finally, you don't have any unique IP. Your IP is scaling faster than others. This is speaking to also sharing your ideas. Your intellectual property is going to depend on how fast you scale your idea. Because the day that Mark Zuckerberg had Facebook idea, somebody else had a social networking idea, but did not go as fast as Mark Zuckerberg did. Tesla is not the only electric vehicle in the world today, but it's one that has scaled the most. Farmcrowdy is not the only agtech company. There are over 36 of them in the country. Agtech companies in the country, 36. Not only is it that you have over 36 of them, you have over 30 of them that are doing exactly the same thing that Farmcrowdy started doing initially. But in the last 1 year and 6 months, Farmcrowdy has innovated from that and is doing all that things and continues to lead the pack. Plentywaka may not become the only boss-headed platform in the country, but Plentywaka will continue to find ways to scale faster than everybody else and continue to lead the pack. So you don't have a unique IP. Your IP is scaling faster than others. At this time, I think I have exhausted my time, and I want to thank everyone for joining me on this session. And I'll be leaving this to heading back to Tommy as I look to answer the questions that have come up from people. And so if you have more questions around this topic, please go ahead and share them. But it's very important to know that in order to build yourself as an entrepreneur, what the Rome Business School is doing around courses related to entrepreneurship and innovation, where I'm also a lecturer there, where I'm also sharing my lessons from, those are the kind of things that I will encourage every entrepreneur to look out for to build that skill set. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I will be answering the questions as they come in. Tommy Lola.
Thank you so much. It's really, really profound, learning from your journey as an entrepreneur, your experiences, the ups and downs. It's quite interesting. Like you said, what people see is the success, the trophies, the awards, and there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of ups and downs. go on in the life of an entrepreneur. Thank you so much. Would like to take questions. Maybe we'll just, and we move over to the organization manager who wants to talk to us more about the Masters in Entrepreneurship program. So we have one question here. It says, thank you, Mr. Akumah. Please, what is the best advice you can give in the area of finance if your business is struggling in the area of stocking? That's the question.
Sorry, I missed that. I think the line was...
So what advice do you want to give? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, someone was asking, I think from Cheryl, it says, please, what is the best advice you can give in the area of finance? If your business is struggling in the area of stocking, what advice can you give?
In the area of finance, right? If your business is struggling in the area of finance, especially as it concerns stocking, right? Now, I think,
yes.
So the first thing is in the area of finance. So there's finance where you're providing finance for scaling your business. And there's a different conversation around stocking. So if it's about scaling your business and maybe you're trying to raise finance to scale your business, what I've learned in my time building my own businesses has been, you've got to be accountable from day one. You've got to keep records of your revenue, of your investment of capital from the first day. And the importance of this is that you want to make sure that by the time you're talking to investors, and the right time to talk to investors is after you've proven your model, at least for 3 months. You found a way of making sure that you can get the first customer to pay for your service. You found a way of getting the first set of clients to pay for your service. You've built a model that you know that if investment is coming in, $1,000, $100,000 is coming in, 100,000 naira is coming in. It is going into this business in these areas that will allow me scale my operation from 0 to 1, 1 to 2. If you're not able to show an investor how his investment is going to help you scale that business from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, based on being accountable from the beginning and showing him track record of what you've done over time, he's going to struggle with investing. 2, you need to show investors or people that are going to be investing in your businesses how you will potentially exit for them, that they make money at the end of the day. Because not everybody is giving monies for grants. Even when people give you money for grants, they want to see results. And so for an ideal investor, he wants to see exit plan, and you want to pay attention to that as you're showing them what you can do. The third thing is they want to see the team. They want to see, why are you the right person to invest in? Very early stage businesses get investment from investors based on the team, not just on the idea alone, but the caliber of people of the team executing on the idea. So you want to pay attention to who is in your team. How are you able to convince the investor that you're the best person they can invest in to execute on that idea and get the results you're after? Now, having said that, if you're looking at stock keeping, that is more accounting driven. There are several accounting firms that provide accounting as a service. When I started Farmcrowdy, I used one of them. When I started Plentywaka, I used one of them. I didn't have the money to employ an accountant in-house. And so I used an accounting service firm to help me in stock keeping in my account records in order to manage that bit for me until we were big enough, we could afford getting an in-house accountant or stockkeeper to keep records for us. So I hope this helped to answer the question that was just asked.
Thank you so much. I think that has answered the question. Thank you so much, Mr. Onyeka. We'll be taking more questions. Right about now, we would like to get some information from the organization manager, the didactic team, on the Master's program. Remember, I told you about the Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. We have a whole lot. The value proposition is quite juicy, and Mr. Sam Igwe, are you there? I would like to call on Mr. Sam Igwe to give us, something from the didactic team, what they have for us, what value does the Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation gives to our students.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you for this opportunity. And thank you also, Mr. Onyeka. It has been an insightful section with you. And I believe that everyone on this call has really enjoyed you sharing from your wealth of experience and your entrepreneurial journey so far. Thank you, Tommy, once again, and thank you, Mr. Onyeka. So, like my colleague earlier said, we are so glad to have you here, and we'll just be sharing the details of our Master in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, as Tommy rightly said. Basically, what Mr. Onyeka has shared with us is something that we'll be encountering in the course of this one-year master's program. Master in Entrepreneurship and Innovation is a one-year master's program that runs on weekends. So you have two weekend classes, and is a practical class where you'll be meeting serial entrepreneurs like Mr. Onyeka, and we have a lot of them in our faculty base for this program who'll be sharing from their wealth of experience and their journey so far. Part of what you'll be learning, part of the structure is you have modules that address critical areas in terms of entrepreneurship. You will start with much with managerial core competencies, modules we call managerial core competencies. You remember that Mr. Onyeka mentioned something about accounting, how he had to outsource accounting. But even in outsourcing accounting, he had to have basic knowledge in accounting and in budgeting. You know, as an entrepreneur, you need to have basic knowledge in HR. You might not be a HR expert. You need to understand project and operations management, which is part of the managerial core competence modules. You also need to understand business strategy. So these are the things that you'll be learning at the early stage of this one-year master's. You also have digital marketing. You also have marketing module as well in the course of your one-year master's program. And moving into the core entrepreneurship, you also have a module that exrails entrepreneurial leadership, strategy, and failures. One thing about entrepreneurship is the fact that it doesn't just talk about the successes. Every entrepreneur, every successful entrepreneur has had failures as well. And so this session also tends to address the failures. Mr. Onyeka has not just shared with us his success so far, he has also shared with us the challenges that he has encountered as an entrepreneur. He has also shared a few of his failures with us. And then the model is designed such that if you're one that is still at that ideation point, someone that you're still contemplating on which idea to convert into a revenue source, or which problem you want to offer solution to in the market, the program is also designed for you. It's also designed in such a way that if you're already an entrepreneur and you want to scale your business, you want to put structure into your business, you want it to be such that it's attractive to investors. You have modules that also address that. And so it takes you from idea generation to validation. You also look at startup cycle and business modeling. You also look at risk management. While Mr. Onyeka was speaking, he talked about the fact that at the early stage of Farmcrowdy, they lost 300 beds, in terms of conveying the beds from Ibadan to Lagos. That talks about risk. How do you manage risk? How do you factor risk as an entrepreneur? So those are a lot of things that you also go into. And then it's not just about ideas. How are you able to test your products? How are you able to develop minimum viable products? These are some of the modules that you will be taking. And strategically, we have a whole lot of ideas out there. We have a lot of businesses out there, but they've not been able to communicate effectively in terms of their branding, in terms of their digital identity. So people are really confused about what they are offering in the market. People are really confused about what they are doing. And so you also be learning about strategy in terms of communication, your brand communication strategy, and then how to use PR to market. You know, it's not just about advertising, it's not just about the core marketing, but how to position yourself with PR and then gain efficient market share in the market. And then successful pitching. Successful pitching and positioning. So it's very important that you position yourself, and then how to be able to pitch. Serial entrepreneurs are people who have been able to make, who from time to time make pitches to investors, and this is very, very important. So the program, the structure of the master's program is loaded, and it's a whole lot that at the end of this 1-year master's program, you're coming out on the other side as a well-equipped entrepreneur. You also, maybe you might not really be interested in starting your own business. You are also equipped on how to identify franchise opportunities where you can key in and also offer services and solutions in the marketplace. So without taking much of our time, we also have a soft skills program and life program. So it's not just about the core competence area. Mr. Onyeka talked about the boardroom dynamics, where he had to talk about dealing with office politics as a CEO. That is an aspect of entrepreneurship, or an aspect that an entrepreneur needs to be equipped on. And it has to do with soft skills. What are your soft skills competence? Are you able to communicate? How are you able to communicate and persuade in a digital age? So we'll have models we'll take you through also in the course of your master's program on how to create teams and how to foster collaborations, both with internal and external stakeholders. It also incorporates agility and adaptability, which is a soft skill that every entrepreneur needs to possess. Also, you have some other sessions that will kind of enhance your critical thinking and problem-solving skills. More to it, which is something that almost everyone on this call knows, is emotional intelligence. So we also have an aspect of our master's program that deals with soft skills. This will come as an additional value to you. So at this point, I would like to call on my colleague with the career services to share with us some of the opportunities and some of the packages that you have with career services before we hand over to Tommy Lola. Thank you so much, Tommy, for this opportunity.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sam. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christopher Edusi, and I work with the Career Services and Alumni Relations Department. So quickly, I would like to share my screen on what we do, value as services. So, like I said, I work with the Career Services and Alumni Relations Department, and we are aimed at developing better managers for a better world. Through the course of your program, the impact of the career services on your 1-year program with us, first is the annual job fairs. We try to create an avenue where you get to interact with recruiters from different partner companies with Rome Business School. And in the course of your program, which is optional, we also give you the internship placements where you get to not just learn from the school, we also give you a hands-on, make sure you experience a hands-on experience in some of the companies. And part of your development, we do career development workshops, and we also share weekly vacancy publications. And just like Mr. Sam said, we organize webinars on life and soft skills acquisition. We also do entrepreneurship programs, entrepreneurship related programs. And the course of your program, as part of the experience, we also do local and international tours and website testimonials where we celebrate your success, we celebrate your business, that's it, particularly in the business showmanship. And we also do mentorship and access to program advisors. So we have people that will guide you through your career path. And as a part of celebrating your entrepreneurship activities, we would also do product launch. And part of the benefit you enjoy from Rome Business School is you'll be part of the alumni membership that is all over the world. We have over 140 countries represented. So moving on, this is more like a timeline for the entrepreneurship. And I would like to also point out that we have a collaboration with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and I believe it will be unveiled. The plans and activities will be unveiled along the course of your program. So back to the slide you can see the timeline of the Rome Business School Entrepreneurship, where we take you through the pre-incubation, the incubation, and finally the pitching day, where you get to pitch to maybe put you in groups, put you in teams where you develop a product and we'll follow you through to the point of pitching, where you get to pitch in front of investors, as angel investors, people who are ready to invest in the business. Okay, so time is not allowing me to go further, so I'll quickly say this. So the career services, if you're looking for career development process, to get more informed about career development process, if you want to distinguish yourself as a professional, if you want to learn more about your skills and interests and also implement effective strategies towards your career path, if you want to identify and explore career options, you are always welcome at the Career Services and Alumni Relations Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Indusi. At this point, we have one of our alumni who will just share with us her experience with the Rome Business School Master's Program. Mrs. Prudence, are you on this?
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, ma'am.
Would you like for me to go ahead?
Yes, ma'am. Can you share your video? Can you? Oh.
Okay, I can. That's fine. Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so I'd like to share my experience, and mine is a unique one because when I started as a market woman. That's what I usually would call myself. And then my whole class, my entire class would, laugh. I've been doing business for about 15 years now. And, I've been doing business the way a woman who is gifted at doing business would do business. But I grew from just being a business woman to being a professional in my field. And that's because I decided that I wish and want to run an organization. I don't just want a one-man business. I decided to join the Rome Business School. My first experience with them was very funny, and I do not think that Rome Business School as an entity would forget me in a hurry. I have troubled all of them where I do not understand certain things or the structures, or I do not understand how to apply what we are being taught, to my business, because that is the essence. For me, I didn't come into, I didn't decide to join the school because I'm looking for a job. I'm not looking for a job. I hire people. So, but I wanted to be professional in what I'm doing. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted my business to run as an organization. So I really wanted to better the future of my business. I will say now that I am far better. I have learned a whole lot when it comes to, in fact, when the facilitator was speaking about, the things that we must have and do if we want to run a successful business as entrepreneurs. One thing that I wanted to say, which is now the opportunity for me to share, when he spoke about he was referring to the person who says finance is a challenge, especially when it comes to stocking. And he said you must have a good hold on your finances from day one. That is very true. But you see, it is not realistic also. Because I'm a living example. I started my business being ignorant. I just felt, okay, this is the way to do it. So let me just manage and keep doing it. So there are people who have started businesses, but do not have that prowess, who don't have that experience or exposure. So for people like that, I think I will encourage them not to be discouraged, because you're seeing a good example of a change that can be as a result of personal development, resilience, education, and so many other factors. So what I will say, especially for that person, using my experience, is that you do not need to be a professional in every field. Just like Sam said, you will have to use your soft skills, if that is your strength, your area of strength, to, make up for the others and have the right people in place. Even if you cannot pay them as, pay them salaries, you can have them come in and check. And then once they're doing it, you are learning, in the process. So I will say that I have changed a whole lot. Rome Business School knows that. They know that because I put them through my experiences, and I am better off for it. My business is better structured. I have the different units functional as we speak. I do not see HR the way I used to see HR. I see HR for what it is now. And then I now appreciate the beauty of job description, clear job description. So if each person is supposed to do what they're supposed to do at the right time, you do not need to struggle and you don't have to be there all the time. I am enjoying the beauty of this. Thank you, Sam. I don't know how much time I have.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great testimony, putting structure to your business. Ladies and gentlemen, just to add to what my colleagues have said earlier, the Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation commences March 2021 with the induction ceremony. So for a lot of us who have been indicating interest to join this intake, we have one about to start. It starts March 2020. And I also like to let you know that studying with Rome Business School means a recognition of your certificate internationally. Of course, you're getting an European certificate. In fact, you're getting double certification. You're getting one from Rome Business School in Italy, and you're also getting an MSc in Entrepreneurship and Innovation from Valencia International. That certificate comes with 60 ECTS, means the European Credit Transfer System. In addition to all that has been said, we have a whole lot of activities for you, extracurricular activities. We have the International Study Tour. Part of what we do at Rome Business School, we like to expose our students to a global experience. You'll be going for Innovative Leadership Boot Camp in Rwanda, Kigali for one. And you'll also be going on a study tour to Rome, Italy towards the end of the program, where you're also doing your graduation ceremony in Rome, Italy. You have access to meet with a whole lot of students in Rome, Rome Business School students from different countries, high-level networking opportunities, meet with people, also helping you scale your business. Like Mr. Sam has said, the master's program covers the entirety of the entrepreneurship and development stage, from the conception stage, startup stage, building structure, sustainability, and expansion. So you're going to be learning a whole lot of that. We have a mentoring session that's been lined up for students of Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and a lot of workshops. Our mentoring session is quite robust, such that as a student of Masters in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, you are assigned a mentor to help you through and build your business and grow your ideas. So to register, we have an ongoing scholarship right now from the Antonio Ragusa Foundation. And I don't know if I should disclose the scholarship. It's quite a lot. For those interested, And those that would register between now and the 26th of February, we have a special scholarship aside the regular scholarship we give to our students. So please, if you'd like to register, all we need is just your CV, your international passport, your degree certificate, a letter of motivation, and a passport photograph. If you have those documents, you're eligible to apply for the master's program. And please just drop your mail if you're interested in this, the recording of this program as well. Please drop your mail. So at this junction, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take the program director, Dr. Adobe, a very beautiful Dr. Adobe. She's here with us. She wants to share something with us. Good afternoon, Ma.
Good afternoon, everyone.
It's so good to see you here.
It's an exciting time for us down here in Rome Business School. I want to especially thank everyone who has made out time to attend. Special thanks to Mr. Onyeka Akumah. By the way, Mr. Onyeka Akumah is one of our faculty on board in Rome Business School. I want to especially thank you for all the insights, because entrepreneurship is not just about the learnings in terms of what is said in theory in the classroom. It's actually about the practicals. And it's also about what you meet on the road, through the pathway to success. And you have actually shared with us a lot of beautiful insights. Thank you very, very much. I'm certain that quite a number of people who have been battling to make up their minds on what to do in terms of which program to attend. In fact, I'm sure they are now going to be sure that they will be getting value. Thank you once again, Mr. Onyeka. We really appreciate. Special thanks to everyone on ground. Loads of greetings from my bosses, Professor Antonio Ragusa, the founding president of Rome Business School, coming all the way from Italy. And special thanks also from Dr. Humphrey Akanazu, a country director. They just needed to step out for a meeting. But we are particularly excited at all of you staying in from the very beginning to the end. In fact, we're busting loose in terms of attendance, and we're excited about this. I want you all to know that this is Rome Business School. There's nothing cast on stone. It's just a place where you get uniqueness in everything. You're going to be able to have flexibility in the way you study online. I'm sure some of us have even gotten confused. You came here to hear about entrepreneurship and innovation. And while Onyeka was talking, he last started talking about marketing and sales. He talked of marketing and communication, and we're like, hey, Rome Business School has everything. Which one am I going to study now? No, but really, when you come in for entrepreneurship and innovation, you will definitely get a bit of everything. So it's going to be, how do they say it? One stone killing so many birds at the same time. And you're going to have a lot of enjoyment, because you will have opportunity to meet a lot of other CEOs and hear firsthand experiences and share the challenges you'll be having. Welcome once again to Rome Business School. We'll be expecting your forms very soon. Please share information with your friends and well-wishers. Share information, let them know that there's a place you can come to here in Nigeria, on the shores of Nigeria, but yet still get an international experience. My colleagues have said a whole lot on everything. I want to say special thank you to all students who were able to participate here. To all our prospective students, thank you for gradually making up your minds. Thank you to all my faculty who are my esteemed faculty. You are the ones that make this program the best. We continue to say thank you. We appreciate you all. And please do not forget, for those of you interested, please ensure you take out time to call the numbers, fill out the forms available, and guess what? The sky is your limit. Come right here. Let's make you a better manager for a better world. Thank you. Have a great day, all. Over to you, Sam and team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. We'll get in touch with you for those in.
Sam, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
I dropped in the comment section. I'll just like to take 5 to 7. Once again, my name is Tola. Can you hear me?
Tommy, your
okay, you're
network is
breaking
breaking.
a bit, Tommy.
Your network is breaking.
Okay, sorry
All right.
about
Okay.
that.
Okay, Sam, I think you should just take
my
over.
phone
She's
number.
trying
So
to
thank
say
you once
something
again,
about
everyone.
something in
Thank
the
you so
comment section.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay. Toby, let me just take it up. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are so glad to have you this afternoon. Thank you once again, Mr. Onyeka. For those of us that are interested in the program, you can just also drop your email address on the comment section.
Yes.
And also, we will send the link to this recording to you as well. So kindly drop your email address on the comment section. And also, those of you who are who also want to get the slide, we also send the slide across to you. So just drop your email address and we'll keep in touch with you. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us on this call, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you all. Sorry, the network was bad. I wanted to drop my phone number for those interested. My phone number is 080-9152-7000. 080-9152-7000. Please, you feel free to call me if you're interested in any of our master's program. I will be most delighted to attend to you. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
I don't understand. Thank you. Yeah. I have since.
Drop it again.
This is it.
Drop it again. Don't log out. Don't cancel the class.
The business world and the very dynamic and highly competitive current situation of economic uncertainty demands qualified professionals with solid knowledge of different management areas and with personal and professional skills, such as versatility, adaptability, reflection, determination, and creativity. When it is time for employers to rank their employees, accolades don't go to those who work hard but to those who work smart. The amount of impact you can make as a business owner or as an employee in your organization relies ultimately on your experiences and your wealth of skills and knowledge. Rome Business School is a managerial training and research institute par excellence. Our mission in Nigeria is to train entrepreneurs, managers, and professionals to a level of excellence in their competence and their ethical approach to business and work. This would help them to play a part in the development of the economy. Rome Business School has obtained the ISO 9001-2015 certifications, which recognizes the top quality standards of its training activities. The ISO 9001-2015 accreditation gives our institution the quality systems that provide the foundation for excellent student satisfaction and continuous improvement. Our faculties are industry professionals with long-standing years of proven experiential experience. They provide our students with years of experience both within and outside Nigeria to tap from. With practical teachings, easy-to-apply methodologies, and real-time application opportunities through assignments and projects. There are numerous benefits you stand to gain from attending the Rome Business School Executive Master of Business Administration program. You'd gain global experience, develop your skills and competencies, you'd be able to introduce fresh ideas to your workplace. Through newly acquired classroom concepts, knowledge, and tools learned from peers and expert faculty, you would be able to innovate at a global level, become a leader in your industry, and also gain skills that'd improve your ability to read the market and recognize trends and potential changes in your industry. The Executive MBA program is 1 year, designed for busy professionals, allows them to concentrate on business and also acquire new innovative skills. Our programs have been accredited by major international organizations like European Foundation for Management Development, European Union, Principles for Responsible Management Education, European Association for Distance Learning, Project Management Institute, PMI, among others. The registration process has been simplified, with our career service expert there to guide you along. We offer a flexible learning plan, 100% online or on campus, that makes it easy for you to juggle learning with your regular job. Our alumni body gives you an array of industry professionals to interact with, learn from, and network with. To get started, visit our website, www.romebusinessschool.ng. You can send an email to nigeria@romebusinessschool.it or call 09067556524. You can also start your enrollment here, www.enrollment.romebusinessschool.ng. Rome Business School, better managers for a better world.
You 30 jobs. Yeah, manage all of them.
All of them.
Because of it. 29.
All of them.
What do you know? Every other day, Sunday, I did not do. What do you do?
The business world and the very dynamic and highly competitive current situation of economic uncertainty demands qualified professionals with solid knowledge of different management areas and with personal and professional skills, such as versatility, adaptability, reflection, determination, and creativity. When it is time for employers to rank their employees, accolades don't go to those who work hard but to those who work smart. The amount of impact you can make as a business owner or as an employee in your organization relies ultimately on your experiences and your wealth of skills and knowledge. Rome Business School is a managerial training and research institute par excellence. Our mission in Nigeria is to train entrepreneurs, managers, and professionals to a level of excellence in their competence and their ethical approach to business and work. This would help them to play a part in the development of the economy. Rome Business School has obtained the ISO 9001-2015 certifications, which recognizes the top quality standards of its training activities. The ISO 9001-2015 accreditation gives our institution the quality systems that provide the foundation for excellent student satisfaction and continuous improvement. Our faculties are industry professionals with long-standing years of proven experiential experience. They provide our students with years of experience both within and outside Nigeria to tap from. With practical teachings, easy-to-apply methodologies, and real-time application opportunities through assignments and projects. There are numerous benefits you stand to gain from attending the Rome Business School Executive Master of Business Administration program. You'd gain global experience, develop your skills and competencies, you'd be able to introduce fresh ideas to your workplace. Through newly acquired classroom concepts, knowledge, and tools learned from peers and expert faculty, you would be able to innovate at a global level, become a leader in your industry, and also gain skills that'd improve your ability to read the market and recognize trends and potential changes in your industry. The Executive MBA program is 1 year, designed for busy professionals, allows them to concentrate on business and also acquire new innovative skills. Our programs have been accredited by major international organizations like European Foundation for Management Development, European Union, Principles for Responsible Management Education, European Association for Distance Learning, Project Management Institute, PMI, among others. The registration process has been simplified, with our career service expert there to guide you along. We offer a flexible learning plan, 100% online or on campus, that makes it easy for you to juggle learning with your regular job. Our alumni body gives you an array of industry professionals to interact with, learn from, and network with. To get started, visit our website, www.romebusinessschool.ng. You can send an email to nigeria@romebusinessschool.it or call 09067556524. You can also start your enrollment here, www.enrollment.romebusinessschool.ng. Rome Business School, better managers for a better world.